Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to every single one of us in OnPassive around the world. Today is January 2nd, 2021. The Julie and Milo show come to you again. And by the way, my name is Julie, my dear friend Milo. Milo, please say hello.
Milo from Nashville, Tennessee. How you doing?
Thank you, Milo. As always, the Julie and Milo show comes to you. I'm from Newport, California, and Milo is from Nashville, Tennessee. We'll get together, and every single time Milo and I on the phone together, having a conversation together, we always talk about OnPassive. So what is OnPassive? OnPassive is an artificial intelligent information technology company. It is a business, but not only business itself. We have a CEO that full of love, full of passion, and his goal that strike many of us is to be able to give us the vehicle to change the humanity. Today, with such an honor, we have our special guest join our show today to talk about his passion, his missions, his goal, and what is OnPassive meant to him. I'm going to have Milo, my dear friend, introduce our special guest.
Well, Julie, it's exciting time with OnPassive, and the guy that we're going to bring here is just an incredible person, and all of you know him in the OnPassive world because he's very visual out there. Everyone sees him, and all the stuff he does for all of us. It's so great to bring a good friend of mine, Dr. Bill Williams. Dr. Bill, come on.
Hey.
Hello, Dr. Bill.
Nashville and Newport Beach.
Hey.
Welcome to our show.
And so good to have you on the show today, Dr. Bill. I mean, you're probably one of the most visual guys out there as far as OnPassive. I mean, you put the videos out and you do it for all of us. And that's the coolest thing about OnPassive is we all help each other, and it's not about one. And, we live in a world nowadays that seems like it's just me, give me me, and it's so great to see people that give back, that do things, you being a world-renowned, dentist in the world and going, I noticed on your bios that you do missions, which is something that's dear to my heart, with OnPassive. I like to say, OnPassive is changing the world one person at a time, and you're one of them that's doing that. Tell us a little about your missions.
Milo, it's a pleasure to be on you and Julie's show. And missions has been part of something I've been involved with since I was in dental school. Actually, as a junior in dental school, I went to Haiti for a couple of weeks and worked in the orphanage there in the handicapped children's hospital. But most recently, I spent most of my mission time in Africa with a short stint in Honduras and then in Vietnam most recently. So I've been into 3-4 continents around the world. I've enjoyed each one of my mission trips. But if I had to mention the most significant missions is when we went in the year 2000, 2001 to Kenya. We built a hospital and we worked in it for 10 years. And we traveled all around Kenya doing missions in addition to that one. I have a lot of friends in Kenya. I have a lot of things we built. We built churches, hospitals, schools, water projects, grain silos, many things. And the people in Kenya have become dear friends because we've been back year after year after year. And when we go, we do medical, we do dental, optometry. We even have 1 year a prison ministry. We inspired 2 or 3 people to go and live in Kenya for about 5 years. And so they had missions there that we would support. And one of them was a donkey ministry where they would rescue donkeys from their abused owners. They'd rehabilitate them and give them back to the owners with the caveat, if they didn't take care of them, they'd be taken away again. Huh. So they were doing good animal husbandry. And, the whole thing was go over there to serve people and do something that they didn't have access to. We went to places with no electricity, no running water. We set up a camp and just worked in the bush.
Wow. Wow. I know you have mentioned about something that is really connecting to me. I am a Vietnamese.
Are
Um,
you?
yes, I am. Vietnam is my first home. I left Vietnam when I was 16. So I'd like to ask you, what is your experience like in Vietnam? And before I even say that, I wanted to thank you for all the things that you have done, all the missions. I know that you do it out of love. You do it out of your passions. And that's one of the things that I said I'm honored to have you, is because of everything that you do. Not only that, I wanted to share this image with our viewer. You are one of the top 100 doctor in the leadership magazine. I'd like you to talk to us about that.
Yeah, we have, as far as the magazine goes, we have a friend who's also a founder in OnPassive that started a worldwide company of bringing doctors together to teach, and they gather together and do online webinars. And so the 100 doctors have put out last year uh, over 100 webinars that got over 2 million views. And so Keonor Shaw is the name of that doctor that organized this 100 Doctor magazine. Top 100 Docs is pretty much the elite instructors of doctors in the world. They teach other doctors how to do better. And so that's what I've been fortunate to be named in that group for the last couple of years. Now, as far as Vietnam goes, I went to a mission there led by an Australian team, and we had about 80 people on the mission team. Some were medical, some were dental, some were spiritual, and we were able to spend time in Hanoi and Da Nang. And we did a children's hospital teaching to the residents, and then we went down to Da Nang from Hanoi, and we did actual dental clinic and a primary school. So we worked on kindergarten through 6th grade age students, and we worked there for a week and gave our services to those people. And I got to work beside people from New Zealand, Qatar, South Africa, Cambodia, Australia, as well as Vietnam. And so
Wow.
I enjoy the multinational approach and just eating the food and seeing the sights. It was a wonderful time. Beautiful country, beautiful people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow,
It's so interesting in what you do there. So we
Yeah.
got to talk more.
that's so awesome that you get to do that. So it's got to feel like this thing on passive's got to feel just wonderful to you, because now the world is gonna hopefully start coming together and blessing all humanity with what you've been doing for years. So you've been a leader before, but tell us, how is on passive gonna help in that aspect?
Well, OnPassive is going to, as we say, create 1 million Mother Teresas. The idea is people that give back to society because they have the means as well as the will. Now, I think we're attracting people who are givers. That's pretty much the nature of what we are. At least the cream rises to the top. Maybe not everybody's as much of a giver as some, but those who are make themselves, known and available, I think, because it is such a positive force within OnPassive. Our CEO mirrors it. And so if you aspire to be a giver, this is an opportunity. You'll have more income coming in than you can spend. For the most part, most people have never come close to the income they're going to have in the next couple of years. And so if you're of good heart and you want to provide for people, you've always wished you could, but you couldn't. Now people see the opportunity and they really think they can. It's like the little engine going up the hill. I think I can, I think I can. Well, as soon as we get to the top of the hill, we become a big locomotive, not a little engine.
Right.
And we're going downhill with a lot of power. And as I've said before, it's the kinetic energy instead of the stored up passive energy, it's kinetic energy. And we are going to create action when we have the cash to do it. And that's
Absolutely.
part of the giving process.
Absolutely. And I think, that's what I see with OnPassive too. When we first come into OnPassive, I seen, people would say, how much are we going to make? Well, it's no longer that, because we all know that that's already a done deal, that we're going to make, we're going to get the money. But now it's, how much will I be able to give to someone else? How much will I be able to bless humanity? And that's what can make a change. We can all, just one person at a time, make that change. And I think OnPassive will help us do that very easy.
Yeah, a lot of times people going on mission need support. And so there'll be a lot of people who will support missions just by being able to provide. And there'll be others who could leave their job finally and they can go on the mission they always wanted to travel on.
Absolutely. And as I always talk with Milo, I say I think OnPassive is a way for us to give a gift that keep on giving. It's, you give it once and it keep on giving, it keep on bringing them blessings. I know that you have done series of interview with Ash Mufarad, our CEO. Tell us about your experience speaking with Ash in one-on-one. I know Milo was lucky to meet him in person, got to talk to Ash many times in one-on-one. So tell us about your experience with him.
I think he's a pretty down-to-earth person, and he listens. He's got his own plan of action of how he wants to create OnPassive. And so he's got a lot of things pulling at him from different directions, I feel like. And so basically, if you open an interview with Ash and you let the interview flow the way he wants it to go, then he's pretty open. And he probably can't force the issue to go somewhere he don't want to go. But in some of the interviews I did with him, he said I pulled out more out of him than most people. And that's just because I'm charming.
I agree.
The thing is, I'm a trained professional. I'm a dentist. And, those dentists can pull anything out of anybody, right?
They can do the extractions.
Old dentists never die. They just lose their pull.
All right.
So I used my chairside manner on Ash, and I told him that if he didn't cooperate, then I had a big shot that I might have to use on him.
I like that.
Give him a shot or gas, right?
That's what you got last week, right, Milo?
I did. I got gas for the first time,
Yeah.
But anyway, that is so cool, but there's a lot of things that you've done in your life that a lot of us know about because you've been out there. You did a great video the other day about your New Year's resolution. If anyone hasn't watched that, you need to watch it because that's a great video. But there's got to be something, Dr. Bill, that we don't know about that maybe we can be the dentist and pull it from you. Is that possible?
Oh yeah, you could probably twist my arm a little here. I started out this way. You know what that is?
A scout, right?
Scout. I was in Boy Scouts from age 8 to 18. I was Eagle Scout. So I'm proud to have been a Boy Scout, Explorer Scout, Cub Scout. I even went into college and I joined a fraternity called Alpha Phi Omega. It turned out it was formed by Baden Powell, the founder of the Boy Scouts, who was a British fellow who came to the United States and set up Alpha Phi Omega as a college fraternity. And it was a service fraternity even. And who knows how that happened. I didn't even know about AFIO. I didn't even know it was a service fraternity. I just joined it because it has some cool people in it. So that was kind of an interesting story. And scouting, I always give credit, being an Eagle Scout, as to the reason I got in dental school. That is a resume builder. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it's a very important step for a young man to have on his resume. If you're looking to have a well-rounded youth, that is a good program, scouting. Now, one thing I did after I got out of college, I went to Europe on a Eurail pass and had a backpack, and I had a book called Europe on $5 a Day. And I toured for 10 weeks all around Europe with a backpack. Saw 10 countries, 10,000 miles on the train.
Wow.
Wow.
So
With $5?
$5 a day. I went over with $1,000 in my pocket, and I came back with 500. And so I came in at $4.32 a day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow. I like to do that. I like to do that one of these days. So you'll hear from me, Dr. Bill. You know, someone has made a goal yesterday. It just go through some of our communication with our founder, and someone said he can't wait till OnPassive give him the ability to have his teeth fixed. So my question to you is, when OnPassive go live, when all of us are coming, a lot of us are hold on tight to whatever that they make, because fixing teeth, getting your teeth done, and as I know, because I've got mine done too, it's really expensive. And many of us, we work hard, and it's, the most important thing is our teeth in our mouth. And I'm just speaking, you know, really coming out of me. You have to have healthy mouth, healthy food in order for us to enjoy life, to have a healthier life. Doesn't matter how much money you make, but your health is important, and it's all start within this area. And so my question to you is, when we make so much money, or I don't really talk about money, when we have the kind of life that we want, will you still be advising a lot of dentists to work on a lot of the founder? I don't know how to put the question, but you know what I mean. Like, a lot of people wants to get their teeth fixed, because OnPassive will give them that opportunity to do that.
Well, my greatest fear is that I'll have 400,000 new patients.
Well, good.
But I've been hearing from a few people they're coming to Atlanta. I don't know if that's true or not, but my
I am one of them.
dental office is limited to 1 day a week right now. So I'll fill up that chair pretty quick, but I'll take care of special friends. You can count on that. And
can I be on that list?
yeah, of course, you're special. I think Ash and I came to some kind of a mental congruency just this weekend that Smile might become a clinic in OnPassive offices. Maybe there'll be a dental office associated with some of the OnPassive offices, if you heard the webinar.
Yes.
Right.
Who knows? That might go international. Who knows?
There you go.
Wow.
Only staffed by highly qualified, personally guaranteed, certified dentists by yours truly.
There you go.
Dr. Bill Williams.
No slacking dentists allowed.
And dentists know how to pull things out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're from Atlanta, Georgia. So you're kind of my neighbor. I'm in Nashville. But I understand you love to read books. What's the best book you've read?
Well, you know, I got into so many different genres of books over the years. You know, I still remember going through Isaac Asimov's science fiction series called Foundation and Earth. And then I went through James Michener's travel commentaries, where he went to the Caribbean and to Hawaii and Chesapeake and Russia, and, you know, everywhere he ever went, he wrote a book about. But Afghanistan was my favorite. It's just amazing to read about places in the world that are different from here. And recently, of course, I read Tom Clancy's books back in the early days, and Robert Ludlum, the kind of the spy novels. It's interesting that I was reading Robert Ludlum's spy novel about USSR and American spies going after each other while I was walking down Dravinsky Prospect in Moscow.
Wow.
And I was looking at this building and that building. I go, this is in this book.
Wow.
So I like to read, and Tom Clancy, you know, Grissom, the lawyer, his series are great. And I keep adding new ones. I just read the Bernie Gunther series, which was one about a detective in Germany before World War II. And 20 books in that series. I read all of them this year.
Wow, so you're kind of a history buff, kind of. You like history and travel mainly. So the travel.
I like to jump around between science fiction and history. I like these kind of guys who are James Bond type guys that go around and help everybody.
Sure. Okay.
I like to get the bad guys. I don't like the bad guys to win.
Oh,
So the ones where the good guys always win.
there you go. Those are the good ones. That's awesome.
So that means you have to read fiction mostly.
Yeah. Well, I know you're very, very big on multi-stream income, and I believe if I recall correctly, you had a book out regarding multi-stream income. And tell us, how does OnPassive help these individuals and businesses to have multiple stream of income?
Back about 15 years ago or 20, I started teaching in my profession, dentistry. You need more than one income center. And I taught dentists how to create income centers in their practices, more rooms, more chairs, more dental assistants, even add more dentists. So we had more hands working. And so I looked at it as opportunities to create a cash flow, because a dentist only has two pair of hands, hopefully. And when they work hard, that kind of caps off how much they can make if they have one room and one set of hands. So I started looking at opportunities to go into other abilities. So along the way, I started thinking, well, it's not just in the dental practice that a dentist can make money. And so I started looking at being an insurance consultant, being an instructor, being a teacher, being a clinician, having masterminds, everything that a dentist can do that would advance his ability to be valuable to the community, not just on treating patients, but in teaching other dentists. And so I've been involved in teaching other dentists since 1981 was my first course I taught. And then I did my first international course in Toronto, Canada in 1983. And so I started having these different income streams. I wrote a couple of books that were international bestsellers. And so I have a book that brings residual income. And along the way, I attended Bob Proctor's course, and he was talking about multiple sources of income in the early 90s. And at that time, I really got the bug, and I went all over the world with that. And I was looking for income sources in Russia and Ukraine and Indonesia and Colombia and Greece and Costa Rica. I mean, I was all over the world doing very weird things. They were not dentistry I'm talking about, just drilling oil in Kazakhstan, hunting treasure in the Philippines and Indonesia, building houses in Moscow. We started a lottery in the Ukraine. All these crazy things. And of course, we didn't make a lot of money, but we had a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So multiple sources of income has always been something I've been interested in. And that kind of comes back around to keeping your eyes open. And I was in a wellness company that was doing very well across the world. I still am involved in it, but I don't really promote it highly because OnPassive has far surpassed that in my interest. OnPassive is the single best multiple source of income I've ever seen. And it's the first business I've seen that could probably outdo the profession that I'm already in called dentistry. I think our income is going to be bigger, stronger, and longer lasting than even being a dentist. I always tell people I wouldn't get into any business right now that couldn't create $1 million a year for me. And that's what it's like. Everybody in OnPassive has that same ability to create that kind of income or better.
I believe that, and I now I see why you're so excited about it, and the passion just comes out in you about it. But I look at OnPassive and I think about O Academy. Is there any thoughts of you maybe putting together a program where you teach in O Academy, because you you definitely, I mean, your multiple streams of income, you had the book out, I think, a $10,000 a day dentist. In fact, I was telling someone about OnPassive, and I said, she was in dentistry, and I said, have you ever heard of Dr. Bill Williams? She said, the $10,000 a day dentist? I said, yeah. She says, yeah, I've heard of him. So it was really cool that I heard that. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, with Academy, that's going to open up a whole new world for you, I would think, because of, number one, where you are in the world. One of the top 100 doctors or dentists in the world, and now he becomes on Academy. I would think you could fill that class up, and there's no limit to how many you can teach, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, I started over a decade ago teaching on GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, and I was doing it live. And it was so hard to do it live, run all the mechanics of the machine, the computer, change the slides and talk to the screen. And, but we did it for a couple of years live, and then we got smart and recorded it, and all I had to do was the intro.
Yeah.
And then after a while, we stopped doing them live, and we just had the recording, and we put it on Kajabi, which is a lot better than GoToMeeting when it was recorded. But OConnect is going to take what GoToMeeting and Zoom gave us, and Academy is going to give us what Kajabi did, even better and much better. And we're going to be able to put our courses that we've already got canned and put them up online. And so many dentists out there, many physicians out there will migrate to this particular platform.
Mm-hmm.
The medical profession is one of the highest users of online continuing education. Because we have mandatory continuing education of 20 to 40 hours a year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to stay in classes, we have to stay current. And the number of instructors that are out there teaching is in the tens of thousands.
Wow.
So you'll be able to give that certification if you're certified, correct?
Yeah, we've been certified through the Academy of General Dentistry and the CERT program to give continuing education to doctors for the last 10 years. So, and even before that, I was teaching and being able to certify people since 1985. So
Yeah.
that's been something I've been used to doing for a long time. My topic used to be TMJ, head and neck pain, reconstruction and orthodontics, but I kind of transitioned from teaching the technical side of dentistry to the management and the marketing over the last 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
Awesome.
Dr. William, I've actually wanted to get back a little bit on the multiple source of income. I know OnPassive has multiple source of income. We don't have just one source. We have 50s right now, source of income coming in. What is your most favorite source of income based on that 50 plus portfolios that we are having, giving of what we've known so far?
From what we know right now, there's the chance that the biggest income we're going to get may be the advertising. When Google and Facebook make their money, it's because they charge advertising rates. Mm-hmm. And that's where they get most of their cash from. I have a feeling that OnPassive's advertising campaigns, where they allow people to advertise on the websites that they create for us, may be the biggest cash cow that we have that has at least so far been identified. And that was only told to us about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Before, we were just going to be selling subscriptions to products. And that would be a fixed rate at what, $100 to $250 a month. Mm-hmm. But advertisers sometimes spend $1 million a week.
Right.
Sometimes they'll spend $100,000 a month. Sometimes a small office might spend $5,000. Well, that's a whole lot more than $250.
Yeah.
And so an advertising campaign could raise the ability for us to be cash king much higher than anything related to just subscriptions. So it's a combination. You get the subscriptions from all the hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions, and then you get the advertising rates from tens of thousands of people. And it all adds together. That's the good thing. We're all going to share in all that.
Wow.
It's
That
so,
is huge.
yeah, it's so good, you know, all the opportunities that are available to us when you look at all these different products. And I know we're running out of time here, but you know, when you look at like the Zoom or you know, O Connect, not Zoom, but O Connect, you look at O Connect and you think about that as a musician or a singer, an artist, you know, that you could put on a concert for millions of people, you know, because there's no limit to it. And you can put on a concert for millions. That's going to change the world in that. Because right now with the pandemic and stuff, live music is not that I want to say that it's gone away, but it's really almost non-existent because of that fact. Well, there you got people that are really hurting, you know, and in any industry, it's like that. You know, I mean, you can pick almost any industry, and if you just look at what's happening in the world, we've hit the perfect storm. I mean, it's the perfect time for OnPassive to come out with this product and stuff because there's going to be a lot of things that can be done. Do you agree with that?
I do. There's going to be a product for everybody. You know, Ash talks about Opal, and I keep getting after him and say, "Tell me more about Opal, Ash." And he says that's his favorite one that he's going to use every day. So if it's his favorite, it's my favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to figure out why it's his favorite, and I'm going to do the same thing. You know, I learned a long time ago, if you want to do something right, follow the smartest guy in the room.
Right. Find the successful one and follow him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Really enjoyed the conversation with you, Dr. Bill Williams. It's such an intimate conversation that we all have. And I know OnPassive is a way for many of us. Right now, and actually ever since I've been in OnPassive, I still have no clue of how much money I'm going to make because it is a guarantee success in OnPassive. And the way how I see it, Ash putting it in a way where our hopes and dreams can be defined, like clearly. I have actually never dreamed until this year. I was like, I don't even know what to dream of because we all have to live in a way of abundance in order to accept that blessings. Any last words, word of wisdom that you could share with us and share with our viewers?
Well, follow the leaders who come before you and light the path. You guys are leaders, of course, because you're lighting the path for hundreds of people every week. And I always say that the key words for this year are we are 1 in 21.
There you go.
We are one.
It. Love it. Love
Like
it.
it. Yeah.
And, you know, 2020 is behind us in our rearview mirror. And that's a good place for it to stay.
That's for sure.
We had a good year, but this is going to be a better year. This will be the year where all the pieces fall in place. The puzzle will finally get put together. And I'm thinking the last piece will probably drop in place in January as the soft launch starts. And once we do have the soft launch started, we'll be using OConnect. So long, Zoom. Hello, OConnect.
There you go. Got
It's been a
to
pleasure being here on your program. Thanks for having me over.
Thank you so much. Any last words from you, Milo?
just, man, thank you so much for coming, Dr. Bill. It was great talking with you, you know, and having this conversation with you and seeing your heart, your passion, you know, how you love to give back, you know, and I think that's just something that is awesome. And let's go OnPassive. You know, and don't forget, if someone shared this video with you, make sure you get back with that person, you know, get with them, get going in the OnPassive. There's no better time than now. You know, yesterday was better, but you can't get to that one, you know, but you can get to today. So it's good to sign up today, you know, get back with the person that got with you.
Yes, absolutely, Milo. It's such a pleasure having you here, Dr. Bill. And like I always say, just keep sharing, give the gift that is keep on giving. There you have it, everyone. We have Dr. Bill here today. And thank you so much for watching our show today. 2021 is going to be a fantastic year. Like I said, like actually Milo just said, go back to the person who shared this message with you. And if you are already an OnPassive founder, please log into your back office, plug in, and discover your blessings. Because if the blessings come to you and you're not opening to it, it will just still be there. But opening to your blessings, keep exploring, connecting the dot. That's how it got me to that point. That's how it get 400,000 of us here. So get back to the person who shared this with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bill, for being here with us.
Oh, you're sure welcome. Thank you, Julie. And Milo, one more thing I want to ask you to do. Look out for my son as you're walking around Nashville. He lives up in Nashville and he's a founder. So you might see Tyler along the way.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that. That is awesome, man. I'll have to get to meet him. And if you come up to Nashville, man, give me a call, look me up. Let's get together. I love that,
We shall.
All right.
See you guys.
Good night, everyone from Nashville.